long you've got here. Now you can't let it go to waste. And neither of these teams want to go home. WPI at home, they got upset in their conference championship at home. They definitely don't want that to happen again here in the national tournament. And Ithaca, man, they're looking to prove a point. They've been overlooked all season long, but here they are in March, and they want to make a point of it.
This Bombers team, a convincing win against Stockton. They come out extremely hot. They make 8 threes in that first half, and the big three has been dominating. Holmes, Logan Wendell, Evan Cabral, 78% of the points last night, Rihanna. How can they keep the mojo going?
Well, truthfully, it's going to be about that three ball. I mean, WPI's shooting defense, or excuse me, three-point shooting defense is the best in the country. This is an Ithaca team that's 46th in the nation in three-point attempts. They need to get those shots off. They need to make those shots more than anything. But you know what? I will say I liked what I saw yesterday from Ithaca in terms of contested looks. They were confident even against the hands in their face.
Well, both these teams have gotten here in such different ways. Ithaca and WPI for a Sweet 16 appearance. And Devin Jarvis has more courtside on the opponents.
Cam Ray, if you ask Coach Fareed of Ithaca and Coach Bartley of WPI who's going to win this game, I'm going to tell you right now, their answer comes close to whoever wants it more. And all that stems from motivation. For Ithaca, we've seen their motivation come in the form of a chip on their shoulder all season long of being overlooked, picked to miss the playoffs, picked to lose games that they won. And they said right now that there's nothing more dangerous than a team like ours that's overlooked and got nothing to lose. Coach Bartley responded to that and said they're good everywhere, giving Ithaca the recognition that they deserve. But the motivation for his squad and the Engineers came in the form of 2 early season losses against Babson and Suffolk. Coach Bartley said it was a come-to-Jesus moment for them, and sometimes you need to get punched in the face to get your motivation and mindset right. So the answer to the question of who wants it more should be decided by who's ever going to the round of 16 in 40 minutes of game time. Back to you guys.
We thank you so much, Devin. National anthem coming up, and then we have the start of this ball game. Tip-off coming up from WPI. It's round 2 of the NCAA tournament.
Athletes, coaches, and spectators, we request your cooperation. In creating a safe and game environment. Respect, it's the name of the game.
Was the crowd mic fine, Toby?
For the playing of our national anthem.
Okay, good. Sounds good.
At this time, let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Ithaca. A senior guard from Bradford, Vermont, number 1, Logan Wendell.
There is nothing more fun than March basketball, a chance to move on to the Sweet 16. The Bombers want to do it for the second time in program history, and this WPI squad looking to get back to a place they once called home. Rihanna, it's a big matchup right here. This WPI group, a top 10 defense in the country. It's the third time the Bombers have faced off against a top 10 defense.
Yeah, you have RPI, you have St. Lawrence in your conference. You're seeing the best zone defenses, the best man-to-man defenses in the entire country. So you're used to playing against that, but the advantage WPI has, they're not familiar. They are completely aliens to Ithaca. They're going to have to learn how to adjust. Okay, what are the things that they do differently? We have to watch some film later in the evening after the game yesterday, but even then, that's a quick turnaround for Ithaca to adjust to one of the top defenses in the nation.
This Engineers squad brings out their starting five. The sophomore in Justin Mullen. Tim Reedy, the guard, coming off 27 points last night. His counterpart in Aiden Callahan, the senior, also 27 points. J.R. Newman and Brett Morelli at the forward spot, an experienced starting five. Two of those starters were a part of that Elite Eight run back in 21-22.
Yeah, so they have the experience, and Callahan spoke about last night, all these guys in the locker room. When I was a freshman, I was looking up to the juniors and seniors to tell me, hey, what's different about this? What's different about the NCAA playoffs? But now the students are looking to Aiden Callahan, the freshman, the sophomore. They're looking at him saying, hey, man, what's going to be different about this? How can we adjust?
It's such an exciting matchup, and it's because the Bombers have gotten to this point, and you talk to every single person in this gym. It was a surprising run, but not to that locker room. They expected to be here because they know what their ceiling can be.
Yeah, Coach Farid has called it a fluid goal, right? If we can win the conference, great. Can we win the conference? Do we still have more room to grow? Do we still have more potential? Let's show them how much potential we really have. And I think they've shocked the entire NCAA moving into this round of 32, winning the Liberty League, whatever you want to say. They've made a statement.
That music continues to bump, so we keep dancing. It's round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Number 19 ranked WPI in their home whites on their home floor, red numbering, red lettering. And the Bombers, the underdogs, the Cinderella story, and their road blues set and ready to go. A chance to punch your ticket to the Sweet 16. Here we go from Worcester. Bombers first from left to right on your dial. They took down Stockton last night, 80-69. Logan Wendell and Evan Cabral, the big guys. Cabral working baseline, coming off 20 points. Under the hoop with the contact, can't lay it in right side. WPI, top 10 defense in the country, they get the first stop. Justin Mullen the other way with Aiden Callahan, the senior. NUMAC Player of the Year. J.R. Newman has the basketball left wing, Defensive Player of the Year. Brett Morelli down low and lace it, the big center matchup on the left block. Posting up, kicks Reedy, right wing three, connects. WPI first.
And Bombers are going to have to keep their eye on Reedy all night long. He's a three-point marksman.
27 points last night for the senior. Evan Cabral, top of the key, career-high 13 rebounds in round 1. Aiden Holmes, left wing, the senior captain. Dribbles right, finds Cabral, top of the key. Wendell, right wing, drives down the lane, picks up the dribble, has to kick out Cabral. 10 on the shot clock. Back to Holmes, top of the key. Swing to Wendell, right wing. Wendell's fouled. Bombers inbound, new 20 on the shot clock, but you could see so far the best defensive three-pointing shooting team is WPI. They're smothering the perimeter.
Yeah, absolutely. They are glued to that arc right there, and only one guy down low. Can the Bombers get into the paint?
25% team shoot from three against WPI. Holmes to his right side on the right block. Resets Wendell at the red WPI logo. He works down the right lane. Spins. 8-foot floater. Wendell's long. Laceth tips O'Neal the rebound. Foul down low. It's the Engineers' second here early on. And, hey, Ray, in playoff basketball, fouls and free throws mean everything.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw yesterday in Ithaca's game against Stockton. Super clean game up until the very end, and even Stockton with a chance to come back with all the fouls that Ithaca handed them. Going to have to see if either team stays out of foul trouble here tonight.
Bombers get it in, 18:43 first half, a 3-0 WPI lead. Cabral posting up, middle of the red paint, kicks to O'Neal cutting. He's down the lane, under the hoop, nowhere to go. Kicks to Holmes, it's a right corner three. Holmes can't hit. Rebounded down low, Joe Pleabley, the sophomore. Callahan over midcourt, right to left on your dial. Pulls a three, hits a three. 2 for 2 of the Engineers from expanded range.
And this is what Ithaca did to Stockton yesterday. When you get going early, it builds confidence.
The number 19th team in the nation up early. Cabral to his right side, fouled, count it. That's an answer from Evan Cabral. 20 points last night, playing his best basketball in March.
It's going to be a little bit of a different type of matchup for Ithaca. They're not going to get those three-pointers that they want. They're going to have to use the physicality that they saw against Stockton to get down low into the paint, force the fouls. They've already done that so far.
A 6-2 WPI lead on 2 threes from the seniors, Tim Reedy and Aiden Callahan. Cabral looking to convert on a three-point play. Jim goes silent. Cabral, the free throw, can't convert. Stays 6-2, 2 minutes in, round 2 of the big dance. Jaron Newman, the junior, over midcourt. He fires a top of the key three. Front rim short. O'Neal the rebound for the Bombers. Bombers out-rebounded Stockton by 18 last night. O'Neal left corner. Going East Coast, West Coast. Now on the right block. Finds Cabral, right wing. Bombers reset. Cabral holds up his right hand. O'Neal top of the key, guarded heavily from Justin Mullen, the lengthy guard at 6'6". Now Logan Wendell down the right lane, spins, middle of the paint, pump fakes, Lasith wide open, lays it in, left block, and that's the Rookie of the Year in Chris Lasith.
And that was a great pass underneath by Logan Wendell. Knew that his guy was going to be right there to jump up over the heights.
17-25 first half, 6-4 Engineers lead. Jaron Newman hesitates with the left. Deep, long jumper, top of the key, in and out, no good. Spider-Man Cabral snatches the rebound with the right hand. Working coast to coast. Inside with his left. Kicks to Lasith. Left wing three. Bullseye! The center, just his 22nd attempted three of the season, knocks it down. Bombers by 1, 3 minutes in. Justin Mullen, left wing extended. Finds Peebley, the sophomore, on the right elbow. Lasith the smothering defense in the blue unis. Jaron Newman, a right jab step on the right wing. Tim Reddy, left wing on Holmes, the two seniors. Mullen, left elbow. Driving to his left side, now double team. Kicks Reedy, one more pass Newman. Top of the key three. Not going to be the third for the Engineers. Cabral the rebound, threw it off the foot of Mullen. It's going the other way. Cabral at a trampoline park making plays. Bombers basketball in the defensive playoff hustle.
They make these plays all the time when, it's a really quick situation. They need possession. They just throw it off a leg, really high IQ.
Round 2 of the NCAA tournament. The Bombers looking for their second ever trip to the Sweet 16. 16:35 first half, a 7-6 Bombers lead. The captain Wendell to his right side. Mullen and him holding onto the basketball. Jump ball, possession arrow for the 19th ranked Engineers. And their defense, they come to play. They double team, they swarm better than anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can just see how deep they're keeping Ithaca, even beyond the perimeter, kind of in no man's land between the perimeter and the half court.
Jaron Newman right to left on your dial in a packed Harrington Auditorium. Nathan Bledsoe, the sophomore, checking in left wing. Back to Newman, he has 3 points. Cabral, the heavy defense. Both guys wear number 15. Callahan, left wing extended. Goes baseline, jumping pass, right corner. Bledsoe for 3, connects. WPI, their third three. We're 4 minutes in. 9-7 Engineers, Bombers left to right. Aiden Holmes left wing, lost the basketball on the hardwood. Stepping out of bounds were the Bombers initially. WPI gets possession. It's been the 3-ball early for the 19th ranked team in the country. Engineers 9, Bombers 7, 15:58, and immediate timeout in the first half.
And when that 3-ball is working for you and you have the best 3-point defense in the nation, that's how you extend deficits. That's how you stretch your lead, right? Because you're not allowing them to catch up and go shot for shot with you, but you're putting up more points than they can ever convert on just simple baskets down in the paint.
How about Chris Lasith early? The 5 minutes and the 5 points, 2 for 2 from the floor. Chris is not a guy that shoots the 3-ball, but he was open. He knocked it down.
And, maybe that's what the Bombers want to do. Play a little bit of trickery. Use your posts. Spread the floor a little bit. Maybe take a shot that they don't expect. You're going to have to do some different things here in this NCAA tournament. Do some unexpected things if you want to surprise the number 19 team in the nation.
This WPI team, they've missed the tournament the last 2 seasons. You go 3 back. They made the Elite 8, and the only starter they still have was Aiden Callahan on that team, the senior guard. He remembers that team made a run, but now it's his time to be the captain.
Yeah, a 4-year starter for this WPI team. He's the best guy on the floor right now to be geared up for this tournament. You look at Logan Wendell and Aiden Holmes on the other side. They don't even have NCAA playoff experience. Callahan is the guy that's going to say, hey, I've been in this moment before. I know how to get us through it. And all of his guys on the bench are going to be looking to him tonight.
NEWMAC Player of the Year, 4-year starter, 27 points last night against Husson in round 1. It's an Engineers 9-7 lead early, 4 minutes in, and WPI right to left on the inbound. 3 3-pointers, 9 points. That's how you get it done if you're WPI. Callahan guarded heavily from O'Neal, finally gets over midcourt. A left screen, Callahan left elbow, down the lane, great pass, Mullen, right block, lays it in. 11-7 WPI, 15:42. Here are the Bombers the other way. O'Neal, left wing, now middle of the paint on the left block. Resets back to Cabral on a reverse. Cabral guarded by Reedy mightily heavily. Picks up the dribble. Lasith left wing. 13 on the shot clock. O'Neal, deep left wing three. Bombers needed it. Jalen O'Neal, his first three of the postseason.
O'Neal for three.
Bombers down by 1, 15-18 in the first half of round 2 of the NCAA tournament. J.R. Newman, right wing, finds Mullen top of the key on Lasith. Mullen, the lengthy 6'6 guard. Wants Callahan. No, he'll take a three from the left wing. Right rim, but Callahan the rebound for WPI. They reset. No, Cabral stole it away at midcourt. One-on-one for Cabral. He's going to slow down. O'Neal cutting. 4-foot floater. He airballed. And the Bombers, a mishap on a mightily important possession. Still 11-10. Here's WPI. Bledsoe, right wing three, it's short. Holmes back over midcourt for the Bombers. And he rings around all the way towards the logo. Bombers slow everything down.
Couple of plays for either side where you think, hey, don't be careless. We need these points right here.
Right elbows Lasith. Hesitating with the left. That's his dominant hand. Picks up the dribble. Once Holmes down low. Stolen away from Mullen. WPI picks up a turnover. It's the Bombers' third. Callahan to his left side. Blocked from Lasith. Bombers get a huge defensive stop. Defensive battle to begin. Wendell right wing. Both teams scoreless the last minute and a half. Wendell straight away. Now Jalen O'Neal left wing. A left screen from Lasith. O'Neal still in that same spot. Inlet pass Lasith, left elbow. Back to Wendell, left wing, 8 on the shot clock. Wendell's got no points so far. Finds Lasith on the pick and pop. Lasith lays it in, and the freshman's got 7, a team lead.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to use their posts, work inside, because this WPI defense is not letting them get anything from the perimeter.
12-11 Bombers, 13-42 first half. Callahan pump fakes the straightaway three. Mullen right elbow. Reedy backdoor cut. He was almost blocked from Cabral, and a late foul. Reedy had a great cut right baseline. Cabral had the defense up top. They call him for a foul, and 2 shots coming up for Tim Reedy, the senior.
His first personal, team second.
A beautiful play draw up for the Engineers, and you look at the 3 that they shot beforehand. Maybe a careless play there where they were just cooking from 3 and they thought, yeah, okay, let's build confidence, let's keep going. But then they use Reedy unnecessarily streaking through the paint, something that Ithaca hasn't seen yet so far, and they use it to their advantage.
Reedy makes the first, both teams to their bench. Cole Wissing in for the first time, and Alex Penderson had 5 points last night in the win, as Jack Blyer, the sophomore guard, comes in for WPI, as well as the junior Matt Morvillo out of Bedford, Massachusetts. Reedy bends the knees. 2 for 2 at the line. A 13-12 WPI lead. And the Quinnipiac transfer, Nicholas Margetson, comes into the game. He's not played a lot of minutes this season of late battling injury all year.
Yeah, and giving this Ithaca team, more than anything, some different looks, okay? Maybe they didn't play a whole lot yesterday. Why don't we mix things up, see what happens?
He's the 5th year. He checks in. Cabral over midcourt for the Bombers. Holmes right elbow. Swing pass tipped from Newman and tipped out of bounds. Holmes looking for Wendell in the left corner. WPI 13-12. Their offense 3 for 7 from deep. The Bombers 2 for 3 from downtown. Looking for that Cinderella upset here on the road. Wendell under the hoop right side. Offensive foul. Goes against Cabral on a back screen. So Bombers can't inbound. They gave it right back to the Engineers.
And that always the catalyst of J.R. Newman and his poke out of play, to read that, to get into position, and then get high enough in the air to poke it away. Really good job by the new MAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Cabral checks out. Brings in Jalen O'Neal, but WPI inbounds, and they chuck it out of bounds. So both teams have now gone sloppy outside of that media timeout. Bombers get it right back.
Yeah, 4 turnovers for the Bombers, 2 for the Engineers. We got to make sure that we're taking care of the basketball here in the playoffs.
That's the most important thing. The ball is the program. Logan Wendell, right side of the hoop, looks to inbound for the Bombers. Chucks it other side of the court. Jalen O'Neal's there. Not a touchdown. Bombers reset left to right. 13-12, Engineers lead. 13-15 first half. O'Neal, quick hesitation. Wissing right wing. Now works left elbow. Penders, top of the key 3. Back iron, off the mark. Newman the rebound for the Engineers from right to left. Newman's got 3 points. Looks left wing Blyer. Blyer left elbow finds Callahan at the circular logo. Back to Blyer left wing guarded by Wendell. Bombers in a man-to-man defense. They will show zone. J.R. Newman driving right, lowering the shoulder on Wissing. Left side of the paint. Now Callahan top of the key, 8 on the shot clock. Callahan to his right. Great pass. Blyer can't lay it in on an open 3-foot look. Bombers with numbers the other way. Logan Wendell straight to his left side. Holmes was cutting. Bombers moving too fast. They reset. Pender straight away 3. Buckets! Bombers back in front by 2. 12:30 first half. Their third 3 of the night. Jack Blyer straight away finds Callahan. The 19th ranked team in the country on the ropes early. Callahan finds Newman right wing. Newman asks for a screen. He gets a screen to his left. Callahan left wing, guarded by O'Neal. Nowhere to go. Wants a backdoor cut. Almost chucked it out of bounds. Now he resets. 5 on the 30. Callahan gonna have to shuck up a shot. Finds Newman. Left wing 3. He answers. From the parking lot is J.R. Newman.
Oh man, Kim. I think we're in for a dogfight here tonight. Both of these teams are not going to let this one slip away too easy.
16-15 Engineers. 11:45 first half. Round 2 NCAA tournament. Logan Wendell straight away, guarded by Newman. Hit that big 3. Pender's left elbow. He had that big 3 just before. Pender's nowhere to go. Finds the dribble. Handoff Wendell left wing. Wendell hesitates. 4 on the shot clock. Going to work. Isolation. Step back 3 at the buzzer. Wendell can't hit. Top of the backboard. And the Bombers a long, lackadaisical possession. WPI back to their bench. And immediate timeout. 11:27 first half. WPI a 1-point lead. And a seesaw, sloppy 3-point battle to begin.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are really excited, as you should be, to be in the round of 32. But more than that, you got to make sure that you're taking care of the basketball. If the three-pointers are working, great. But don't get greedy with them. You got to make sure you're getting those open, clean looks. And when something isn't working, hey, why don't you try and drive the paint? And that's what Reedy did. That's what the Bombers did. They've been mixing things up.
Adjustments are so important during these early timeouts against unfamiliar teams. And speaking of a guy you're not unfamiliar with, it's Devin Jarvis back down courtside.
Cam Ray, one of the things that you'll be able to see about Ithaca is how calm and confident they are. Over the past 2 games in the round of 64 and the Liberty League Championship, that was a defining factor that led them to success. Coach talked about that game just yesterday and said, we played with a confidence and relaxation that I think we needed to, having going into a game where we were not expected to win. Our guys came out, had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and succeeded. That's what we're seeing in these games against tougher teams that Ithaca is said not supposed to win. They're going to have that confidence and relaxation.
Confidence and relaxation. Not often does a team that's like the Bombers, 19 wins, you fight through the conference tournament in the Liberty League, you play your first NCAA tournament game with this roster, you wouldn't think relaxed.
It just goes to show how much trust that this team has in each other, how bonded this group of guys is. There's never a doubt in the abilities of any of the guys out on the floor.
Media timeout is over. Both teams back in the court. 11:27 first half, and Engineers 16-15 lead. They work right to left on your dial here on WICB. Tournament basketball. O'Neal smothering a midcourt on Callahan, the senior captain. Callahan, the conference player of the year, works right. Now right elbow, picks up the dribble, finds Blyer right wing. Bounce pass down low, it's Morelli. Morelli on Penders, ball at hip level, dribbling, lowering the shoulder, spins, can't score, whistling the rebound. And Bombers, a very impressive defensive stop.
Penders did a really good job there on Morelli and O'Neal, keeping Callahan in check.
Logan Wendell, left wing, Penders left corner. Back to Wendell, they want him. He works baseline, slithers down the lane, has to reset, had it poked away. Tim Reedy, the defense. He's going coast to coast. Behind the back pass, tipped. Newman has it, lays it up, no good. Tips it, second chance points on an acrobatic possession. The Bombers back the other way, 18-15 WPI. 10:30 first half. Penders straight away, the forward off the bench, same with Wissink, top of the key. He fires a 3. Bombers need it, won't get it. Blyer the rebounds. The Engineers on their home court, looking for the round of 16. Newman, left wing 3, high arcing, can't get the lucky bounce, just rattles off. Jalen O'Neal acts for a left screen over midcourt, won't get it. Penders lays off. Coach Reed calls out a play. O'Neal guarded heavily from Tim Reedy. Back to Penders. It's a straightaway 3. Bottoms! Bombers tied at 18. 9:50 first half. Penders, he's got 6.
And they've used that play with their posts a couple times now. It's worked 2 out of the 3 times.
Callahan, a left wing 3 to answer. Well off the mark. O'Neal and Penders fight for the rebounds. Both teams seesaw so far. Largest lead is 6 to begin for WPI. Wendell slices to his right, finger roll, hook shot. How did he do that? Wendell scores. Bombers by 2.
All he had to do was just kind of go underneath the limbo, and he used it.
He makes it look so easy. 2018 Bombers, 9:20 first half. Callahan right wing, bounce pass, top of the key, and Morelli. Morelli right-handed dribble on Penders. A crossover, Penders smothering the whole way. Callahan open, left wing 3, a foul. It's offensive on Tim Reedy. A moving screen to give Callahan an open 3. Bombers basketball back to their bench as McKiernan and Jose Padilla come in. Interesting fact, Padilla into the game for the first time during this postseason.
Yeah, he's kind of been, a spark plug for the Bombers here and there. He comes in and brings a little bit of a different look at the guard position, but more than that, he brings depth, and he can sink a 3 when he needs to.
Padilla, the sophomore, 32% from deep. He drives to his right side and scores. Hot off the bench, Padilla, welcome to March.
He's like a jack in the box. You don't know what to expect.
That Energizer Bunny. Here's the answer for WPI. No, Bledsoe can't hit the top of the key 3. 22-18 Bombers, 8:45 first half. Padilla, right screen from Penders. Bombers all reserved outside of Holmes on the floor. Wissing to Penders, down low left block. Posting up, has not used the dribble. Finally does. Lowers the shoulder. Penders, nowhere to go. Resets Holmes left wing, 10 on the shot clock. Holmes so far, no points on one shot. Padilla straight away, now to his left side. Down the lane, spins, 8-foot floater. Jose Padilla, how about it? It's madness. 24-18, 8:15 first half. It's about being ready, according to Coach Fareed. Here's Callahan for the Engineers looking for an answer. Bombers 7-0 run. Mullen spinning, drives to his right side over Penders, almost fouled. No call, lays it in. Back to a 4-point game. Bombers just had their largest lead at 6. Padilla left to right on your dial. Penders top of the key, hands off Padilla. A left jab step, dives down the lane. McKiernan left wing, the freshman. Penders resets, straight away now Padilla left wing extended. Padilla lost it. Reedy, the steal for WPI. The senior said, give me that. Working coast to coast, pulls up, straight away 3, buckets. Back to a 1-point game. You knew a run wouldn't last too long.
And how about that? Tim Reedy, one of the more experienced players on the floor, just dispossessing Jose Padilla. All the energy for the Bombers, you just cut it off.
7:20 now. Here's McKiernan left corner. Penders pump fakes the left wing 3. Wissing down low, left block, acrobatic fade, no good. Tip down low, off of WPI. Stays Bomber basketball under the hoop. And media timeout with 7:15 in this first half. Bombers in front by 6. WPI cuts it to 1. But the Bomber fans that have traveled a lot of blue, far side of the court, standing up.
Yeah, they traveled really well. They brought the pom-poms, they brought the flag. But you got to wonder, is bringing Jose Padilla in at this moment in time and keeping him out for the entire playoffs a strategy plan? Hey, maybe we have a little surprise that you don't know about, you've not seen in the playoffs, but he can come in and make a statement.
Folks, if you're new to Bomber basketball, it's been Wendell, Cabral, and Holmes of late. Wendell 2 points, Cabral 2 points, Holmes with none. Penders with 6, Padilla with 4, Laced with 7, a team lead. And Devin Jarvis has more down courtside.
Cam Ray, just to update you on what Coach Fareed is saying on the bench, we saw for a stint there O'Neal, Wendell, and Cabral all on the bench. His message to them, crash the glass, a battle that's been so important for Ithaca to stay in games. They need to keep up on the rebounds. Back to you.
We thank you so much, Devin. And Cabral said during the press conference yesterday, what he loves to do is crash. He's a guard, but the Bombers run a 4-guard lineup, so your point guards have to rebound.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a rebounding battle to the very end, and when WPI is playing such tough defense, especially from beyond the arc, you need those second chance points. You need those offensive rebounds. The Bombers, they do a lot better job than WPI does in that category. If they can convert on the second chances, they might have this one.
We got you covered on 92 WICB, round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Rihanna the Crow, I'm Cam Manna, Devin Jarvis down courtside, and Toby Zabore back in the studio with Alex Chiprut with all your coverage. Logan Wendell under the hoop, right side, Bombers inbound, 5-second violation. Wendell couldn't get it in. Back to the Engineers, they're down by 1. 7:14 left to go before a much-needed halftime break.
I will say, Cam, this game looks much more intense than either game did yesterday.
Much more intense to know that the round of 16 is on the horizon. Top of the key, it's Bledsoe, the sophomore. Bounce pass right, Aiden Callahan on McKiernan. Callahan drives, poked away. Lasith the steal. Chris Lasith had 3 steals last night, picks up 1 right here. Wendell straight away, finds McKiernan. It's a left wing 3 for McKiernan. It's an air ball. Blyer the rebound, saves it. WPI has numbers the other way. Newman on the left wing. He's been the story to begin with 5 points. Resets Blyer top of the key. Now to Callahan. WPI looking for the lead. Mullen straight away on Lasith. Callahan left wing double teamed. Bombers still man to man. Mullen top of the key. Drives left on Lasith. Spins back to his right. The finger roll is good. Doing a work on the freshman. WPI back in front by 1, 6:20 first half. McKiernan drives right, finds Wendell on the right wing. Newman, defensive player of the year in the new MAC, all over him. Cole Wissing left wing, dribble handoff Padilla. Padilla left corner, nowhere to go. Wissing overhead pass McKiernan. Right wing, now Wendell with 10 on the shot clock. He works baseline to his right. 2 hesitations, has nowhere to go. Has to pass. Wissing, left wing 3 contested, back iron. McKiernan the rebound. Bombers reset everything in a long possession. Wendell back to the WPI logo. 5:45 now. Bombers down by 1. Lasith straight away with the neon shoes. Once McKiernan. McKiernan driving baseline. 4-foot floater. Charging foul. He laid into J.R. Newman. That's why he's been the new MAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, you look at his stats, and you and I, Cam, were saying, man, statistically, he doesn't look like the Defensive Player of the Year, but the eye test, he definitely passes. He is on every Ithaca offender like glue. He is stuck to them. They're not going anywhere when J.R. Newman is defending them.
And a good reason for the Bombers to head to their bench. Cabral and Holmes, the starters, back in. Callahan right to left over midcourt, guarded by Padilla. Overhead pass. Finds Bledsoe right wing back to Callahan. Blyer left wing extended on Cabral. He got his Gatorade. Bledsoe to Mullen. Mullen right wing had the 2 points. Works baseline. Mullen double teamed. Kicks. Bledsoe right wing 3. Got it. 28-24. Engineers back in front, extending their lead. WPI's found their way from downtown. That's their 6-3. Bombers left to right. Evan Cabral on the left wing. A left screen from Penders. Now Padilla. Pump fakes the top of the key 3. Back to Cabral left wing. Crossover left. Down the lane. Falling down. Traveling violation. The Bombers have now gone cold. Scoreless on their last 2 minutes and 53 seconds. And O'Neal comes back in for Padilla. So the Bombers all starters outside of Lasith.
Need a little spark. Switch some things back up. Get back to some consistency.
4:45 first half. Round 2 NCAA tournament. WPI 19th ranked team, a 4-point lead. J.R. Newman straight away. Callahan pump fakes the left wing 3. Left elbow jumper. Can't rattle in. Wendell diving in for the rebound. He says lay off. Works left to right on your dial. Wendell calls O'Neal to his left side. Wendell, clear lane to his right. Can't lay it in. He was slapped. No foul was called. Coach Fareed is absolutely livid. Engineers back over midcourt. Bledsoe left wing. Bounce pass right. It's a right wing 3 Blyer. He cannot hit. And Coach Fareed says slow to Jalen O'Neal coming over midcourt. 4 minutes first half in a packed Harrington Auditorium in Worcester, Mass. Wendell left wing, a left screen from Penders. Back to Penders. Open, right wing 3. You book it. Bombers down by 1, 3:50 first half. Penders, you're welcome to the dance. He's got 9. J.R. Newman right to left over midcourt. Defensive Player of the Year had that charge before. Bledsoe left wing back to Callahan. Had 27 last night, hands off to Mullen. Mullen a crossover left. Going to work on Penders. Lowers the shoulder. Bounce pass. Left block. And Bledsoe lays it in on a phenomenal possession. Largest lead for either side has been 6. Engineers lead 30-27, 3:22. Wendell going right side. He's fouled. Newman picks up the block. 5th foul. And both teams head to their benches. Media timeout with 3:19 left to go in this first half. It was all WPI, but Penders, that's a 3 that this team absolutely needed.
Yeah, and you got to create opportunities when you can. Penders, Lasith, they've both been the ones to do it, which, is surprising. Those aren't your typical characteristic shooters from beyond the arc. It's been the Cabral show. It's been the Holmes show. It's been the Wendell show for a couple games now, and they step into these big moments, hit the threes when they need to. You have to have everyone contributing here in the month of March.
9 for Penders, 7 for Lasith, 2 Rihanna's point. But we go back to last night. Holmes, Wendell, and Cabral, 78% of the Bombers' points. Right now, they're not accounting for really anything.
Yeah, no, they've had a really hard time gaining space, and more than anything, their drives to the paint have really created a lot of turnovers. The Bombers already with 9 turnovers. Wendell responsible for 2 of them, Cabral responsible for 2 of them. You got to take care of the basketball. This WPI team has had their foot on the gas. They've been so intense. They've been ripping the ball out of Ithaca's hands. It's been really impressive to watch, and no wonder they're one of the best defensive teams in the nation.
To be exact, 14% of the Bombers' points right now is from Wendell, Cabral, and Holmes. So Rana the Crow and I doing some math here up top in the Harrington Auditorium in such a crucial matchup for this Bombers program, a chance to head to the round of 16 for the second time ever.
It means so much. This team wants to be the one to do it. They want to be the one to say, we were overlooked, look what we did. That's going to light a fire.
3:19 first half, round 2 of the dance. A 30-27 Engineers lead. Evan Cabral, right wing, top of the key, O'Neal for the Bombers. Aiden Holmes steps in, left wing 3, well off the mark. O'Neal got shoved, no foul called. Engineers back right to left. Callahan over midcourt, a right pivot foot, reverses, finds Mullen right wing. Top of the key, Bledsoe. He's got 3 off the bench. Whistle blown. Foul called. Goes against the Bombers and Logan Wendell. Wendell's going to pick up his first foul, and WPI inbounds.
Coach Fareed, our intel on the sideline from Devin Jarvis saying 30 points too many. We got to limit them. Crash the glass.
Here's Callahan, top of the key. Mullen pump fakes the open 3. Back to Callahan. Swing pass, Blyer. Left wing 3. Huge for the Engineers. 33-27. WPI on top. 2:40 first half. Bombers need an answer. Logan Wendell drives left side. Kicks to O'Neal. Working baseline. O'Neal jump stop. Lane floater and puts it through. O'Neal, a pretty take.
Find ways to create space. Jalen O'Neal can do that himself.
4-point game. Here's Mullen for the Engineers. Posting up left elbow. Bounce pass inside, it's Blyer. Blyer has to reset to Newman right wing. Newman hesitates, works baseline, spins back to his left. Blyer top of the key now, Bledsoe. Parking lot left wing 3. Right rim. Cabral said, give me the rebound. Towering up top over the 6'6 Mullen. Now Cabral, coast to coast to his right. Finger roll is good. Evan Cabral, highlight reel. Bombers down by 2. And Holmes stolen away at half court. Bombers the other way. Here's O'Neal to the glass. Cabral right side, but a charging foul. Ithaca had the chance for the tie, but O'Neal lowered the shoulder. Coach Fareed, he's asking right now for a reset review. He's talking to the referee right now about that call down low. Man, that could have been a turning point of this first half.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen O'Neal, man, that was something that, you just can't do. You have an open look. It was a beautiful pass. Cabral would have had the layup. My goodness, you couldn't draw it up any better and a chance to get back into tie game.
2-point Engineers lead, 1:40 first half. Here's Margetson straight away checking in the Quinnipiac transfer. Blyer top of the key on Wendell. Wants a left screen. Bounce pass left in Mullen. Mullen has a step to his right side, lays it in. Pass Penders too easy. 35-31, minute 24. And folks, you're listening to 92 WICB Ithaca, round 2 NCAA tournament. Wendell, deep left wing 3. Holmes got the rebound on an almost air ball. Wendell resets at the logo, minute 10. 35-31 Engineers, and Newman the foul on Wendell. 6th foul now against the Engineers. One more, it's the bonus. Bombers will inbound. But O'Neal went coast to coast, charging foul, and WPI answered. Every possession matters against a top 10 defense in America, folks. Not just the conference, top 10 defense in the country. 1:08, Wendell inbounds, far left side of the court. Penner's top of the key, handoff Wendell, drives to his right side, has a step, floats one up, too long off the backboard, and WPI gets a stop on an unusual Wendell miss. Over midcourt's Callahan, crossover left, back to his right side, now in the left block, lowers the shoulder on Wendell and lays it in. WPI has had every answer. Coach Free needs a timeout. A 37-31 Engineers lead, 49 seconds in the first half.
You have two chances to at least bring this game back within a possession or tie it up. You get a charging foul. You get a rare Logan Wendell miss. This is uncharacteristic of this basketball team, but regardless, you cannot lose your composure right now. This is still a 3-possession game, well within reach. 20 minutes of basketball left to play. Make a statement before you go into the locker room and get back on the horse.
The one thing the Bombers will look towards at the locker room, 10 turnovers at the moment. That cannot happen against a WPI defense. They just have 5 turnovers, and the Engineers also have hit 7 threes. So they're doing what they do best as WPI team. Play defense, hit the open shots, control the pace.
This is where you wonder, the Bombers have been known to switch up from man-to-man to zone, and they've done that so far. Okay, what's worked the best? Because they're firing on all cylinders right now. How can we limit the 3?
Our insight from Devin Jarvis telling his team, or Coach Free telling his team, they're trying too hard at the moment, just working too fast. Out of the timeout, 37-31 Engineers, Bombers over midcourt left to right. Aiden Holmes top of the key, he has no points. Logan Wendell, right wing, wants a right screen, uses the dribble. Handoff O'Neal, no. Wendell faked. Holmes right wing, down low Lasith. A team lead 9 points. Posting up right block. Lasith the spin, he's fouled. And 2 shots coming up. Crowd does not love the call. Chris Bartley, 24th season as the head coach. He can't believe it. But the freshman in Lasith, 2 shots.
I think Lasith knew in that moment he might have had the size advantage. He's a big guy down low, and while, Barton was tall, he definitely had the advantage in terms of working up over him. Mullen, excuse me.
28 seconds, shot clock dark, and 2 shots here for Lasith. First one, no good. Tim Reedy into the game for WPI. Logan Wendell comes out for the Bombers. Tommy McKiernan in for defensive purposes. WPI can hold for 1 shot out of the miss. 9 points for Lasith, looking for 10. Knocks it down. His 4th double-digit point game of the season in the biggest moment. Here are the Engineers right to left. 25 seconds for the halftime break in round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Blyer right wing now at the logo, guarded by McKiernan. They find Mullen. Mullen's been hot with 8 points, 4 for 5 from the floor. 12 on the clock. Mullen uses the dribble. Now with 7, he wants Callahan. Callahan open, down the left lane over Wissink. Can't lay it in. Bombers rebound. They got 3 seconds. Now 2. O'Neal over midcourt. Fires a right wing 3. Can't bank it in. And we're headed to the halftime break. WPI 37, Bombers 32. And the Engineers 4 for their last 5 from the floor to finish off before halftime.
You know what, Cam? I think this game was one of speed, and right now the Engineers are controlling the speed. They can play fast. They can play controlled at a fast pace. Right now the Bombers, they need to slow down, handle the basketball. 10 turnovers cannot happen in the postseason tournament. You need to find a way to keep the basketball in your hands. This is one of the top defenses in the country. If you're going to be sloppy, they're going to take advantage.
20 more minutes of basketball to find out where this Cinderella story goes for the Bombers. Is it the round of 16 for the second time ever, or is it going home at the hands of the Engineers on their home court? We'll have you covered in about 13 minutes, but first, Toby Zabore and Alex Chiproot, the halftime show on WICB. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Ithaca men's basketball in the NCAA tournament.
A dogfight is one way to describe this one. 37-32 WPI leads Ithaca in the round of 32 here in Worcester, Massachusetts. Raina DeCrow alongside Cam Mann, Devin Jarvis down on the sideline. And Cam Mann, it really was the battle of the three-point shooting, and WPI, they came out on top of that one. 7 for 16 from deep, and it's carried them to the momentum and to this lead.
And it's very similar to what this team did last night. They hit 16 threes. They had a 9-point lead at the halftime break. But the Bombers have played some good basketball. They've just killed themselves in turnovers. When you play against a top 10 defense, every possession is fragile. They've turned the ball over 10 times. Bombers have to be much better in that department.
The first best three-point shooting defense in the nation, and Devin Jarvis has more on why this defense has been so good.
Cam, Ray, the start of this second half is going to be defined by these first couple minutes. How can Ithaca revitalize themselves on offense? Because the defense that the Engineers have shown so far has been tough to break. We talked about that defense with Coach Bartley in our meeting earlier this week, and when he took over the program, they had lost 27 straight, were one of the worst programs in all of Division III basketball. So he said this: when you're trying to build something, you need something to hang your hat on. You need something that is your calling card. And right from the start, we established that being a tough, defensive-minded team is going to be something that we will be. We've seen that on full display so far, and something, honestly, to expect for the rest of this game. Ithaca's going to have to step up majorly on offense to continue.
Yeah, Devin, thanks so much. Part of WPI's success, too, has been their ball sharing. I mean, Coach Bartley talked to us about how they don't really have that one guy that can create his own opportunities, but they've been sharing the ball to create each other opportunities.
And it shows right now, 8 for Mullen, 8 for Reedy, 8 for Bledsoe, 5 for Callahan. They're finding different players to score, but right now, this is a 5-point game, and the Bombers' big dogs have not been barking just yet.
No, not yet. It's been Alex Penders and Chris Lasith for the Bombers. 9 points for Penders, 8 for Lasith. And buckle up because we're underway here in half number 2. It's O'Neal to kick things off. He hands it off to Lasith, top of the key. Now for Wendell. He looks for a space down the high lane, trying to work on Morelli. Lasith went up for the layup. He couldn't find it. Holmes grabbed the offensive rebound. Here's Wendell from a 3 straight away. He can't hit it. Well short. And WPI reconvenes. They have the ball. Mullen hands it off, and WPI plays tic-tac-toe in no man's land. Here's Tim Reedy, one of the best three-point shooters in the nation. Morelli with it now. Handoff Reedy as he's streaking into the paint. He gets it poked away. It's Cabral with it. He takes it back the other way. Cabral with his right hand. He's pushed over and fouled. Straight to the floor for Evan Cabral.
That was on WPI, number 0, Justin Mullen.
That'll be on Justin Mullen, his second. The sophomore, he's been tough to stop. 8 points here tonight, 4 for 5 from the floor.
And he's the one guy that cannot be in foul trouble with his size at 6'6".
Lasith off the inbound. Handoff for O'Neal. Cabral with it on the near side wing. Bombers swing it around, finally find Lasith on the low block. He opts to dribble on Morelli. Goes up and over a miss point blank shot. Here comes WPI. Here's Reedy trying to work past Holmes. Holmes' numerical counterpart, both of them playing number 3. Wendell, he just blocked away Mullen. How about that size mismatch?
Huge block there from Logan.
Trying to create some different momentum. Here's Holmes going over the head of Reedy. He just skips that one out of the basket. Wendell looking for space. He opts to drive. Hands off for Lasith. He spins. He fires off the glass. 37-34 with 18 minutes and 24 seconds to go here in this round of 32 game.
And that's a grown man take from Chris Lasith.
10 points, above 10 points for the freshman now. Coach Farid's called him their rock. Here's Reedy now. Going to work again on Holmes. Both of them 3-point shooters. They come up big. Morelli with it. Turning, spinning, off the rim. No good. And a foul called on Lasith on that Morelli floater.
And that's a foul that you have to do there. Lasith and Wendell are trying to box out on Mullen down low, and just his size is too much. So instead of an easy bucket, slap his arm, have them reset. You have fouls to give early.
3 points separate these two teams. 37-34, 18 minutes on the clock. Here's Mullen from straight away 3, no good. And the Bombers grab it off the glass. They're winning the rebound category right now, 21-16. Wendell, the first-team All-Liberty Leaguer, hands it off to O'Neal. Now here's Cabral, the other conference not on the team. He was second team. O'Neal, a near side corner three. That one's short. Lasith has the board, though. O'Neal, he gets to reset at the near side elbow. This one goes in, and that's O'Neal's second of the evening.
And Chris Lasith rebounding, resetting. He has been the go-to here tonight.
O'Neal coming up big for a three. Bombers and Engineers tied at 37. Here's Reedy looking for a response. He's got Holmes behind him and Lasith in front. Morelli with it now. The senior at 6'7", trying to work on the freshman. He spins and fires. That one short off the right side of the rim. Bombers collect another rebound. Here's O'Neal trying to go to work. And that'll be a foul on the floor.
Coast to coast, there was O'Neal to his right side. And a smart hold there from WPI. Foul goes against Morelli. That's going to be his first foul, but he's a bigger guy. He knew O'Neal was going to sprint past him. That's another smart foul instead of allowing an easy bucket.
And O'Neal right off the inbound from Wendell. They play pick and pop and get one to fall. 39-37, the Bombers' first lead in quite some time. Here's Callahan, the new MAC Player of the Year, goes straight to the rack. Ties us up at 39 with 16:48 to go.
And that snapped a 6-0 WPI run.
Bombers slow it down. It's O'Neal at the controls. O'Neal to his left. Left side wing. He dribbles into the paint. Kick out for Cabral. A long-range three. That one off the back iron. Mullen ripped it down. And WPI going back to work. Mullen pump fakes the three. Hands it off. Bledsoe. He's been money from deep and gets another one.
Bledsoe for three.
Bledsoe 3 for 6 from deep. It's been unlikely characters for the Engineers. Bombers haven't expected it. Here's Wendell, far side wing. Dribbling with his right hand, goes over his head to Lasith, who's waiting for him on the high post. Lasith bodying up Bledsoe. And an offensive foul as that one just trickled into the basket. 42-39 with 16 minutes to go, and a couple offensive fouls, Cam, that have just killed the Bombers when they need it most.
And that's a tough call right there. When it's two big men both going to work lower in the shoulder, usually the refs have it play through. That's a smart play for WPI to kind of fall over and draw that foul, but usually in this time of the season in March, you let the bigs play through.
Got to stay consistent with your refereeing as always. Here's Mullen. He's guarded by Penders, who just checked in. Callahan, the new MAC Player of the Year, goes between his legs, loses Cabral, turns and kicks it out to Reedy. He pump faked the three, now drives. Here's Newman. Newman, a baseline drive, rings it in. 44-39, J.R. Newman making it look easy. That ball sharing has been incredibly effective as Cabral loses it again. Newman poked it away. Callahan moving quick. He's on the near side corner, guarded by Penders. He picks up his dribble, looking for a teammate. Can't find it, finally has Bledsoe, a mid-range jumper straight through. 46-39. Engineers extend their lead with 15 minutes to go in half two.
And now they're on a 7-0 run and shooting so well from the floor, 45%.
O'Neal slows it down again. The Bombers trying to keep their composure, something they've done so well in the playoffs so far. When you just call that play, kind of tough not to give it back the other way.
And it's an interesting time, too, for the Bombers because it's right around that 5 to 7 point lead for the Engineers, but the Bombers are doing enough to keep it in striking distance. In a game like this where WPI is at home, this cannot get to double digits at any point. The Bombers have to keep it here, play strong defense, control the ball, and let the game play in their favor.
We talk about the turnovers before the half. 10 before they went into the locker room. They've already had 2 here in the second half. And Coach Fareed, one of the things he was most happy with yesterday after the Stockton game, he said, we weren't trying to play Superman. We weren't trying to do too much. We were just making it work and making it happen. Something that this team, he said, has done quite a bit of this season. They didn't do it yesterday, but sometimes trying to do too much in their own end.
And they've just found so many different ways to win basketball games. Of late, it's been the 3 and the strong defense. A team in 8 of their last 10 wins, they've allowed 70 points or less. It's been very strong defense, but they've also relied on their top dogs. They are not seeing right now. Wendell's been quiet. Cabral with him with 4 each. Holmes has 0 points. You're two double-digit guys, O'Neal with 10, Laces with 10. They haven't had a double-digit point game in the last month and a half.
You got to use every weapon in your arsenal here in March. As O'Neal will go to the line to shoot 2. You talk about O'Neal, what he's been for this team out on the floor. Coach Fareed said the offseason was so crucial for him. He learned how to play at different speeds. He's a very quick player as he drains the first one, makes it a 48-42 game.
And Coach Fareed just telling his team on the bench, according to Devin Jarvis down courtside, eliminate open looks. The Bombers have to play more contested on defense.
O'Neal short on his second one. Morelli rips it out of the air. 14 minutes to go here in half number 2. It's Newman. To hit the start button, he goes to Reedy on the near side. Reedy dribbling with the left hand. Takes the long range 3 from the near side wing. Right through. 51-42, nearing a 10-point deficit. Bombers need to get something going. That 3 ball so effective for the Engineers. They're 8 for 18. It's Cabral. Hands it off to Wendell. Wendell to Penders on the near side. Shovels back off to Wendell. Wendell, one dribble to his left side, now kicks to O'Neal. O'Neal down the low post, feeds Penders, and a foul on the floor.
That's the 4th against WPI. So, yes, a 9-point game, Bombers down, but look, foul trouble is everything. It's going to be such a big game. If the Bombers can get 3 chances, that's going to be crucial down the stretch.
Need those free throws to get back in this game. Whatever you can do to draw those fouls. Maybe you're not getting lucky in the shooting department. As O'Neal tries for the Euro step, and he's fouled again. So O'Neal will shoot 2 more from the line. But the Bombers, what they've done so well here in the second half, Cam, like we just noted, drawing the fouls, getting to the line.
And number 5 now, and Jaron Newman also a little bit shaken up after the play under the hoop. Maybe also asking for them to wipe up the floor, it looks like. But look, Jalen O'Neal right now, this is confidence we have not seen in a little bit. For him to say, look, this defense of WPI is so good, we have to get tougher takes, tougher penetration. 3 ball is not there. Everybody knew that coming in. For O'Neal right now to say, I'm going to go to work inside and draw fouls, that's big, as they're going to clean up the floor under the hoop right now, it looks like. Man, it looks like maybe something even chipped there.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. It seems to be there is like just a little spot down in the paint right underneath the basket that they're taking a look at, trying to decide if it's something they can just wipe away, or maybe the athletic trainer is bringing out a towel to try and clean that up. We're going to swing it to a quick break here on WICB. When we come back, more specialty coverage of Ithaca men's basketball in this NCAA playoff. at the controls, shovels it off to Blyer, who just checked in. Now Callahan with it, the new MAC Player of the Year. Here's Blyer. He pump faked the three, tried to hand it off to Mullen. That one was poked away by O'Neal, but Cabral just gave it right back. He wasn't paying attention. Here's Mullen with it on the far side wing to Callahan. Callahan trying to do something fancy on O'Neal. He was dispossessed but regained the basketball. Bledsoe, another one from deep, rings it in. Bledsoe, money from downtown. He's 4 for 7. 54-43. And here's Penders with it. The handoff to Wendell on the near side wing. Wendell pulls up for a deep three. He can't hit it. Penders batted it away and straight into the hands of Blyer. Blyer, a full court pass to Mullen. Then handed it off to Bledsoe. He had an open look from deep, didn't take it. Here's Newman with it now and Callahan on the near side. WPI tracing the arc. Newman trying to find space and Penders fouls him, trying to find some penetration.
And now it's starting to move in that direction where the Bombers get a steal, but you turn it right back over. You're giving WPI too many chances. 13 free chances to be exact on all these turnovers. And right now this WPI team being able to score a lot off of turnovers.
Something that this Ithaca team has done incredibly well in their last couple has played defense. They've held teams to under 70 points in 9 of their last 10 games. This one trending in the direction of 70+ for the Engineers.
And it all comes down to, can the Bombers fix things on defense? WPI, 22 points off of turnovers.
Got to fix the sloppiness out on the floor if you want to win tournament basketball. Here's Cabral with it on the far side wing. Cabral, a bounce pass to Lasith, who was making his way towards the high post. That one off a foot, and it'll be Engineer basketball. Sloppy plays a good set. In fact, they'll call it Bomber basketball off a WPI foot. So Cabral will inbound on the far side next to all the Bomber fans in the audience. Cabral into Lasith. Lasith top of the key, handoff Holmes. Holmes has been quiet here tonight. He had 20 yesterday. Now Cabral, dribble drive to his left. It's Wissink from deep. That one off the back iron. Lasith ripped it out of the air though, and hands it off to O'Neal. Bombers reset. Cabral wanted motion from O'Neal. He finally finds some space, working on Newman. Newman stuffed him. A full court pass for Callahan. He slows up at the baseline. He's guarded by O'Neal. No space for Callahan, and here's Mullen. Thought about the three, now kicks it out to Newman. Newman moves on O'Neal, and now here's Callahan, the new MAC Player of the Year from deep. That one swirls out. 54-43 with 11 minutes and 16 seconds. Cabral, a baseline drive, kicks it to Wissink. Underneath, that one bangs in. 54-45, 11:06 and a bucket the Bombers needed.
And that slows down a 17-4 run for WPI.
Scoreless for the last 2 minutes until that basket. Here's Bledsoe, thought about the three, now drives underneath for Mullen. Mullen on Holmes. He rings that one just in and out, thought it was falling the whole way. 54-45 with just under 11 minutes to go. Bombers have to have their foot on the gas, but keep it clean. O'Neal up and over the head of Aiden Callahan, making him look silly. That athleticism of Jalen O'Neal coming into play. He's got 14, the Bombers team lead.
Big time for number 2.
Just a sophomore, making a statement in these playoffs. He's been quiet in the last couple games. Hasn't had a 10-point game since Valentine's Day. Here's Mullen with it. On the near side, Callahan ripped up the three, and Lasith got in his way. 10 minutes to go. It's 54-47. Here's Holmes with it to Cabral. Cabral, fancy moves on Mullen. He turns, looks for a teammate, finds Holmes top of the key. Now to O'Neal. O'Neal to his left at the free throw stripe. Now to the low post. Off the box, no good. And a foul called.
Foul against WPI, it looks like. Coach Freed begging for a push. It was before the O'Neal shot, it looks like. Unless it was a late whistle, we'll see if they're giving O'Neal 2 shots coming up. It looks like they will be.
That'll be on Jack Blyer. 2 shots coming up, and WPI's 5th foul here of the half. We talked about free throws and how big they can be in these games. They create momentum, and more than that, when you're not shooting super well from the floor, what do? You get to the stripe, you gain some confidence.
You slow things down right now, and the one thing the Bombers have to do on defense is you have to just look for the three ball right now. Close out, hand in your face. I don't care what the range is. That's the big thing right now. If WPI works on you inside, they get a tough bucket. They get a tough bucket. They cannot beat you with any more open threes.
They did that a couple times yesterday in their game against Stockton, as Devin Jarvis is down on the sideline with a little bit more. Devin, what you got?
Cam Ray, we just saw the stoppage for a moment. Something came out of the court. We wasn't sure what it was. It was actually where the volleyball posts go to hold up that court. But I want to touch on the impact that had on this game. If the Ithaca Bombers get a chance to reset, rejuvenate themselves. And to my left, they're in that huddle right now, and it seems the confidence is back to where you expect it and want it to be back in this game. These players are playing with a confidence. Jalen O'Neal, Chris Lasith, all these guys who you might not have expected to come out clutch are doing so now. And this game might be different than we saw it a minute ago.
Yeah, thanks so much, Devin. 54-47, and the Bombers, maybe with a turn of momentum that's much needed, they have to find a way.
And that's been the theme of this season, find a way. A different starting role to begin. One of your seniors in Bryce Bleibtree goes down with an ACL injury. This team has been mix and match all year to get to this point as O'Neal knocks down the first.
O'Neal with 15. He's been the bright spot of this Ithaca team. Something Coach Fareed commended his team on is not letting the moment be too big. They've played really confident and really loose in their last couple playoff games. Looking to loosen up here in the final 10 minutes of the second half as O'Neal makes the second. He's got 16 now, and it's 54-49. Bombers in the full court press. Callahan can't get over midcourt before he's fouled by O'Neal. A blocking foul on number 2.
Bombers pick up their fourth, but that's some defense you like there from O'Neal. You have fouls to give. That's a full court 94 feet defense to impose your will a little bit, switch some momentum, have some toughness.
Put the pressure on. You're down by quite a few, 6 points. You need a couple extra possessions. Here's the Engineers working now. They'll trace the arc. Newman finds Callahan straight away. Callahan to Reedy, the best three-point shooter, pulls up from deep. That one long, and it bounces out of play. Cabral waited for it.
And all these stops, Rihanna, these are just slow and steady. You got to stop, find out on offense. It's little by little. You got 9:25 left. You don't have to figure it all out in one possession. It's finding ways to slow down a WPI three-point shooting team that's made 10 threes, 43% from deep.
One of those things, too, where you stop one of the best offenses in the nation yesterday. Struggling against the defense, though, just goes to show defense creates offense. Here's Wissink with it. On the right side, turning, finds Lasith, dribbles, works on Morelli, up over his head, off the box and in. 54-51. And the freshman flexing his muscles, 12 points. The only other Bomber in double digits aside from O'Neal. Here's the Engineers now, trying to respond. It's Callahan. Callahan to Bledsoe, who's been so good. Reedy, the near side corner three, straight through. Silences the Bomber fans. It's 57-51 with 8 minutes and 41 seconds to go. O'Neal to the left side. Finds Wendell. Bombers swing it around. Wendell straight away. Looking for someone, he finds Holmes. Holmes back out to Wendell. They're looking for the three. Wendell pulls up from the deep three, far side wing. That one just swirls out. 57-51, 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Here's Callahan. Callahan to the high post. Newman pulls up from deep. Nothing but net, 60-51. And the Engineers keep on chugging, 12 for 25 from deep. Here's O'Neal straight away. He's guarded by Reedy. Reedy, the senior, not wanting to let his season die. O'Neal to the left side, to the low block. He's stuffed by Morelli, but fouled. It'll actually be on Tim Reedy behind the back.
It's Reedy's third foul as well, the big three-point shooter. Both teams hit it to the media timeout, but that possession there for WPI back-to-back times, those are wide open threes. The Bombers, at this point, you don't need the help defense. You don't need the double team on the drive. If they beat you at two, they beat you at two. These driving kicks is getting out of hand. The Bombers just have to go man-to-man and forget about the help defense because this Engineers squad, they're finding the open guy every drive.
NCAA
Coach Bartley talked about, we don't have that guy to create us his own opportunities, but we share the ball incredibly well. We don't know who's going to put up the big shot for us night to night. And it's been Nate Bledsoe who's been that guy, 4 for 7 from deep. Reedy's been good too, 4 for 5, but he's got 4 fouls now, so he's in trouble. He's going to have to maybe stay off the floor. Not sure how they're going to play that one.
Yeah, he's such a big part. He's that corner sitter right now, 4 for 5 from downtown. Bledsoe the same, 4 for 7 from deep. This WPI team, 12 made threes, 16 last night. That's what it really tells you the story right now. This team is a drive and kick, slow offense, and they are just playing tray ball all night.
It's one of those things, too, Cam, where you talk about, okay, what happens when the 3 stops working? What happens when we're not hitting our shots? Right now, WPI, they are unwavering in their 3-ball confidence.
Yeah, and they are also doing a great job of giving up decent looks for open looks. They've had multiple chances where you feel like they're going to shoot it. No, that extra pass, that extra drive. They are so selective, and that's what a good basketball team like this does. And Coach Bartley talked about, look, we don't have one dog that could take over a game. We have multiple guys that have to do their best to help others contribute and succeed. You're seeing that to a T right now.
Nate Bledsoe, he's been good from 3 in these last couple games. He was 0 for 2 last night, but before that, he's had 3 games in a row where he made 3 or more threes. So pretty impressive there from the sophomore. Coming up big down the stretch. He averages just 5 points a game, and he's got 16 here this evening.
And for the Bombers, though, that three-point talk, they have to hit some of their threes. 1 for 7 here in the second half. They've had some open looks. When you get it, you have to knock down a few of these shots. That's the turn they need.
O'Neal at the line again. He's been the Bombers' go-to man to draw the foul. He misses his first short. So 4 for 7 from the stripe for O'Neal tonight. Need these extra points. 2 dribbles, a spin, and makes the second one. 60-52 with 7 minutes and 53 seconds to go. Anything can happen. Here's Callahan on the far side of the court. He takes his time getting over the timeline. Newman back to Callahan in no man's land. Dribbles with his left, back to his right. Now kicks it. Blyer. They're passing. They're playing ring around the rosy. Too fast. That one goes out of play.
And the Bombers right now in a 2-3 zone, that is what kind of results to three-point shooting. So they're going to stick with it. But that's how to break a 2-3 zone, you pass to the perimeter to shoot. It's inside out.
Relying on those guys on the perimeter to play super tight defense, try and get in lanes. Here's Callahan. He picks up his dribble, stops his feet, hands it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe back to Callahan, right down Main Street over the heads of 3 Bombers, but doesn't make it. Bombers will slow it down. Coach Fareed calls out some plays from the sideline, holds up a 1. Here's Holmes. Kicks it to Wissink far side. Wissink, a baseline drive now to Lasith. Resets to Holmes at the top of the key. Holmes to his left, shovels it off to O'Neal. O'Neal towards the baseline, mid-range jumper off the near side of the rim, and no good. Under 7 minutes to go here in half number 2. Bombers need a run. Here's Blyer, guarded by Wissink. Engineers have worked so well from the perimeter as Bombers finally set up in a man-to-man. Newman, straight away. Way out by the WPI logo with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Mullen, working on Wendell. Finally hands it off to Bledsoe underneath the basket, and he's fouled by Lasith. Someone lost their man underneath this. Bledsoe was all alone.
And it was tough because Wendell was guarding Mullen, and that's a 5-inch difference. So the Bombers kind of had to double team there, and that is what forces the open guy. That size is playing such a big factor right now. You got 4 guards on the court with Lasith, and Chris can't do it all.
So Bledsoe will shoot 2. He makes his first. He's got 17. Just surpassed the season high for the sophomore. And what a time to do it here in the national tournament. You never know who can surprise. You got to use all your weapons. Bledsoe has stepped up to the plate.
He truly has. Knockdown, and that's what you need in this madness of March. You always find that unsung hero.
He makes his second as well, so a 10-point deficit for the Bombers with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Cabral rolls it out to O'Neal. He'll pick it up and trot over the half-court line. Straight away Cabral, now Penders who just checked in. Penders looking for someone, opts to dribble to the right side. Trying to find Wendell. Wendell finally moves further into the far side corner. Now Penders underneath the basket is almost fouled by Blyer. Goes up, he's patient with the shot, misses, but fouled nonetheless.
Yeah, Penders avoided contact, could have gone up for the 2, draws the foul. So 2 big free throws, 10-point game, and now 8 fouls against WPI. So well into the bonus, 2 more fouls, it's the double bonus. So things are going to get a lot more dicey for their defense.
Penders just off the back iron on the first. Got to make your free throws. Bombers 6 for 12 from the stripe here, 50%. Spins in another one right off the back iron, but bounces in. So 53-62, Bombers are down by 9. Here's Callahan. Callahan right to the high post, working on Penders. He missed that one, the layoff. And Holmes ripped it down, a jump ball between him and Mullen. Both of them fighting for possession.
What a play there from Aiden Holmes. Yes, it's WPI basketball, but Holmes jumping up with Mullen. That once again is a 5-inch difference to slow down possession.
Coach Bartley talked to us about, this team having to play bigger with their hearts than they have with their size. They're not the tallest team anymore, but they're definitely owning the Bombers in the height category as Blyer pulls up from straight away. And no good, that 3 ball rolls out. Ithaca trying to go to work. Here's Holmes trying to start a fire. That one, more of the same, swirls out.
They need one.
62-53 with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the round of 32. The second NCAA game of the day for any team in the NCAA. Here's Mullen. Some fancy moves on Penders, up over his head, is patient. And both the sophomores go into war. 64-53, 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go. O'Neal kick out to Penders. Can he respond? Bags a 3. 64-56. And Ithaca wants a timeout, 5 minutes and 11 seconds. And Alex Penders, he's come up big in the three ball shooting department. 4 for 5.
And you're walking a thin rope, and right there, that possession kind of felt like the game. And that 3 from Penders puts you right back into striking distance at 8 points. That's a huge shot from the sophomore.
And more than that, he's hit 11 points, a season high 3 different times this season. He's got 13 now. And again, the young guns stepping up to the plate. You got Bledsoe on one side, you got Penders and Lasith on the other side, as well as O'Neal getting it done for the Bombers.
Huge, and it was the O'Neal show, him driving to the free throw line. Bombers can still do that, but at this point, you have to knock down the open threes. Just 2 threes in this second half. That has to change big in these last 5 minutes.
Bombers struggling to get into the paint, too. Just 26 points, I should say. But they've cleaned up in the turnover department, 14 after they had 11 at the half. Not trying to do too much, Coach Fareed says. 64-56 as we get set with 5 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. It'll be WPI on the inbound, and the Bombers in the full court press line trying to slow something down. WPI almost threw it out of bounds. Reedy saved it, read it well.
And Reedy back in the game. He has 4 fouls.
20th in the nation in 3-pointers made. They need him out on the floor to extend a lead. Here's Newman lowering the shoulder on O'Neal, spins and fires well short. Wendell has the board. Under 5 minutes to go here. Wendell, quick to his left side, finger roll, yes! Count it for 2. 64-58. The scoreboard reads 57. Not sure, maybe we'll get a correction here in just a second as Mullen turns to the far side. It's Bledsoe. He's finally short. That one off the backboard. The top of the rim, we get a stoppage.
Ray, it seemed like everyone in the gym did not even know that it was 57 besides us, because Coach Fareed was just worrying about the next possession. That's how locked in they are right now.
You got 4 minutes to go to send yourself into the round of 16. How are you going to respond being down by 8? O'Neal shovels it off to Cabral. Bombers swing it around. Here's Wendell trying to go to work. To his left side, back to his right. Kick out to Cabral. Far side wing, Cabral, dribble drive towards the baseline at the free throw stripe, was trying to throw it away and find Holmes. Instead, Reedy, his numerical counterpart in 3. Callahan all alone on the near side. That one just out. A lucky miss for the Bombers right there.
And the Bombers have to slow down on these drives. Cabral knew he was working sport mode, had to reverse.
Wendell holds it at the P in the WPI logo. Bombers working from right to left. Wendell, a baseline drive, kicks and fires short off the front iron. Frustration starting to set in as the Bombers have been cold. And WPI wants a timeout here. They'll get it. Reedy with 4 fouls. Morelli with 3. Mullen with 3. 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go. Bombers down by 8. This is a time where you can't go scoreless.
Cannot go scoreless right now, and you feel it, the Engineers. They hit that one more 3, one more big shot. It puts it in a tough spot. The Bombers, they've just gone to an isolation offense, a team that's always talked about for their ball movement. It's been shut down right now. They have nowhere to go.
You're listening to coverage of Ithaca men's basketball here on 91.7 WICB. Bombers need to make a 3-pointer. They're on a 5-0 run. 64-58 the score, but Coach Bartley has called this team the Cardiac Kids. They played in a lot of close games and found one shot to bail them out. As Devin Jarvis is down on this sideline with a little bit more on this WPI team. Devin, what you got?
The Bombers right now are trying to crawl back in it here against WPI. But what a performance we've seen from their main 4. 12, 14, 10, and 18. 4 players above 10 points right now. And Coach Bartley said in our meeting this week, he's kind of left it to his players to find motivation and structure for these few. I told the guys after the conference championship game to make their own goals. We're really trying to empower our own players to take this team and take it all the way. They saw this Elite 8 2 years ago. They're trying to get back there once again.
An equal opportunity offense. We've seen that here this evening. 13 assists for the Engineers and 4 different players in double digits. The only one who normally hits that mark is J.R. Newman as well as Tim Reedy. Bledsoe and Mullen have been sort of a surprise for this Engineers offense.
And that's what always happens in March, the unsung heroes.
Here's Newman with it now. He's got 10 points, 2 for 5 from deep. Mullen, one of the other players in double digits with 12. Dribbles to his left side, trying to work on Lacey. The 2 underclassmen going to work. Bledsoe skips it off the floor. Here's Newman at the low block. Newman, left side, right side, over O'Neal. Buckets. 66-58 with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. 8-point deficit. Wendell, right side, down Main Street. Kick out for Holmes. Reedy poked it away. A good read by the senior to slow this Ithaca offense down.
Man, this defense is smothering. You really don't see anything like it. And for them to defend the perimeter like they do, it comes to plays like that for Reedy, who checks out.
Blyer just checked in for defensive purposes. Here's O'Neal straight away. Shovels it off Wendell. Wendell looking for space now to his right side off the screen from Lasith. Wendell, left side now O'Neal. O'Neal into the paint, up over the head of Bledsoe. That one just off the right side of the iron. WPI trying to burn the clock. Callahan's double teamed at midcourt. Holmes took it away, can't get his hands on the basketball. And a foul on Aiden Callahan as he was on the floor, grabbed Holmes' ankle.
That's a phenomenal play from Coach Fareed at the last second, kind of doing a slight, hey, let's press, and it threw off Callahan. Cabral the steal, Holmes to the line. We'll see. It'll be still 1-1, one more than the double bonus. Holmes will get 2.
Tim Reedy entering the game for WPI.
Aiden Callahan, who averages 15 points, 14th in all-time scoring at WPI. Nearly 1,500 in his career. As Holmes goes up, that one long, but Cabral has the rebound. Kicks it out Wendell. Thought about the 3 to his left side, looking to dribble. He finally does to the right side. Callahan's on him like glue. Kicks it away, a kick ball. It'll stay with the Bombers. Nope, it'll go to the Engineers off of Wendell's foot.
And when this defense is so tough, it forces you to kind of do too much, and that's what the Bombers are doing.
5th in field goal percentage defense in the NCAA, 9th in scoring defense. This Engineers defense is no joke. 58 points for the Bombers. 2 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock as finally Callahan gets over midcourt. Here's Mullen to the near side. Now Callahan back to his left. Lasith is on him. O'Neal as well. He's double teamed again. And it'll be a timeout called by Coach Bartley. This Ithaca defense doing a good job picking on Aiden Callahan.
Yeah, it's that 8-point game right now, so the Bombers don't have to foul just yet, so they're double teaming, and it's causing the Engineers trouble. Right now for WPI, only one more timeout. They use that one. Bombers have 2 fouls to give, so they're in a good position from the fouls and timeouts department. But when they get the ball back, Ray, they have to hit some shots.
First NCAA victory for the Bombers since 2020. Haven't made it to the Sweet 16 since 2013. Just their 3rd time in the round of 32. Trying to make this a standard for this Ithaca basketball program. Coach Fareed saying, I don't tell recruits that we want to win a conference championship. I tell recruits we want to win a national championship. Why not us?
And what's so cool about this matchup is in 06-07, Coach Free was a hooper at Stevens. He took down Coach Bartley and WPI, and Coach Bartley said it was one of the worst days of his coaching career.
Here's Callahan on the inbound, bounces it off the hardwood to Mullen, who was waiting for him nearly at half court. Mullen, right side, spins on Lasith, plants his feet to his right, fades away, and it's 68-58. With under 2 minutes to go, a 10-point deficit. It's going to be a tall task. Wendell, left side, right down Main Street, to his right, finger roll off the box. 68-60, a minute and 40, time is WPI's best friend. Here's Bledsoe with it. Almost got it poked away by Wendell, but Callahan picked it up. Here's Reedy, the senior, with it. Reedy back off to Callahan. They're just holding it at midcourt. Now Reedy on the near side. To his right, here's Mullen at the straightaway. Mullen straightaway again with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Lowers the shoulder into Lasith over his head. He's fouled, and Lasith not happy about it.
Tough play right there for the Bombers, and emotions run high, but for Mullen, time and time again, he's doing a really good job lowering the shoulder on Chris. If Chris wants to draw it and kind of throw himself back like WPI has done, you could hope for the charge. Chris is standing in there. It's a tough play. Both of them throwing shoulders, some big guys, so that's been happening all night.
Some extracurriculars exchanged underneath the basket. Mullen will have 2 shots. Mullen, the sophomore, with 14 points, 7 of 11 from the field. Bags his first free throw. It's 69-60 with a minute and 12 seconds to go. Alex Penders will check out Chris Lasith. A bright 4 years a-coming for Chris Lasith, just the freshman, has been the rock for the Bombers this year. He'll continue to do that into his latter seasons.
Yeah, started 29 games, every game at the center position as a freshman.
Injuries from Alex Penders gave him the chance. He took advantage as Mullen makes the second as well. It's 70-60. WPI leads with a minute to go. Time is ticking. O'Neal to Penders. Penders to the left side wing. Here's Holmes to Wendell. Wendell tries to find the 3. Finally, Holmes does it. Contested. Nearly makes it. O'Neal picks it out of the air. Hands it right back off to Callahan. And O'Neal fouls him behind the back. Slows play down with 51 seconds on the clock. Callahan will go to the line for 1-and-1s.
Smart shot there from the Bombers. That's all you can do there with the shot clock winding down. Clock's not your best friend. Holmes takes a contested 3. What's so tough is Holmes has been the guy going back from the semifinal against St. Lawrence, RPI, putting up a big performance with 23 last night. He's 0 for 4 from 3, no points here in this one. Very tough look for one of the Bombers' rocks.
Callahan dribbles 3 times and straight through for the senior. Makes it 71-60. For the Bombers seniors, they talked about it in last night's press conference. They're fighting for one more practice, for one more game, and trying to make the most of this NCAA appearance, saying they didn't think this was going to be the group of seniors to get it done, but look what we've done. As Callahan makes his second, it's 72-60, and here come the Bombers. It's Holmes off to Cabral. Cabral to the right side. Now Wendell. Wendell straight away, pulls up from three, bounces off the back iron. O'Neal has it. He's fouled underneath on the second chance opportunity.
How about O'Neal grabbing that rebound? And the Bombers have killed it on the rebounding side, 37-26. But those second chance points, just 5 to show for. So it just shows, again, how good the WPI defense is. When they're not winning the rebound battle, they're still not allowing the Bombers to convert.
10 offensive rebounds for Ithaca. And like you said, Cam, just 5 second chance points. As O'Neal spins this one, makes his first free throw. It's 72-61. Wissing checks in for Penders. A long season for the Bombers, 19-9. Engineers 24-3, 19th in the nation. A good matchup. And a good draw for the Bombers here. They take down Stockton in the first round. Have 36 seconds to try and make up some points against the Engineers.
And it seemed like O'Neal off-ball foul on a hold against Reedy. So Bombers put themselves now 8 fouls into the bonus and 1-and-1s for WPI.
Alex Penders checks back in for Cole Wissing. Callahan will shoot 1-and-1s. It's 72-62 with 36.1 seconds on the clock here inside the Harrington Auditorium. Callahan's been quiet tonight, just 9 points as he makes his first free throw. 3 for 3 from the stripe. 15 points he averages per game, just 10 here so far. Bomber's been effective in shutting him down. But how about this 8 assists for the senior he's been generating?
And they all have, once again, to have the cast they have of multiple guys scoring on any given night. That's what good teams do.
Fades away on the second free throw. It's 74-62. Here's Wendell. Far side, up over Reedy. He's fouled. Wendell to the hardwood. He gets picked up by his teammates. He'll go to the line for 2, and that'll be Reedy's 5th. So he'll come out for the final 29.5 seconds of this game.
And Reedy could be walking off his home floor for the final time. 14 points. He'll have those 5 fouls, but 4 for 5 from deep. And, man, every 3 he took looked knocked down.
He's been that marksman all year, 20th in the nation in three-point percentage. 86 threes made this year coming into this game. Make it 90 after tonight. It's Wendell to shoot 2. Number 1 this senior. He's been so good the last 4 years for the Bombers. Makes his first top 10 in all-time scorers and top 5 in all-time points. Has been the leader of this team for 4 years now. Makes his second, keeps it within 10. 74-64 with 29.5 seconds to go. Bombers need a miracle. Here's Mullen trying to find someone. Holmes fouls Bledsoe on the inbound.
Man, that's a very ticky-tack call against Holmes. Looked like he had the strip-through steal. You know, to call that foul there is very tough. Kind of gives the Bombers no chance and puts the Engineers back to the line. Not much arguing you can do now when you're down by 10.
Coach Fareed saying there's nothing more dangerous than a team that's been overlooked and has nothing to lose. They surprised Stockton in the first round. And WPI, they gave him respect in the press conference last night, saying this team does a lot of things well. As Bledsoe makes his first, he's got 19.
And this Bombers team, once again, picked to miss the conference postseason. They win the conference. They win an NCAA tournament game against Stockton. This ride is one to not be forgotten about.
Bledsoe makes his second. It's 76-64 as Wendell chucked up a 3, and he was fouled. He'll shoot for 3. 3 chances to cut the deficit just a little bit with 24 seconds on the clock. Coach Fareed not wanting to give up anything too big. 24 seconds. This team has a lot of fight, a lot of heart. You can count on they'll be fighting to the very buzzer. Wendell makes his first. 76-65. Wendell with 10 now.
And you need all 3 of these to go and then foul quickly.
No dribbles, a spin, and he makes his second. 76-66, Wendell now with 12.
And for Logan, yet another double-digit game. He gets a few more. He's looking for 19, 15 or more point games.
And rings in his third. It's 76-67. Newman will be the guy to inbound it. Gets it off to Callahan. Double-teamed and passes it right back off to Newman. Wendell fouls him with 20.5 seconds on the clock. So double bonus for both teams here now. This WPI team, man, they've just been so high caliber all year long. 10 games they've held opponents to 60 or under points. They haven't done that for Ithaca tonight, but a really strong defensive effort that's led to a lot of their offense as Newman misses his first.
That's a big missed free throw. You're still at a 9-point game. If you miss here, Bombers need a desperately quick 3. They have 2 timeouts. They can take a timeout and then settle things down. A lot of ifs.
Newman bags his second. It's 77-67. Wendell with 13 points. The senior doesn't want to let his season die. Takes a contested 3 right through. And Coach Fareed will take a timeout. It's 77-70 with 14.3 seconds on the clock. Kim, what are you telling your team in this huddle right now?
Well, that's right on cue. The only thing you could have hoped for is a Newman miss. Big thing right now is you press once again, immediate inbound, you look for steal, then you foul, and then you keep doing this hope game once again. It's going to be tough. Bombers now only 1 more timeout, so nothing's in their favor, but you're looking towards possessions. How many possessions do you need for points? You need 3-point shots.
A couple of possessions to get this game back within reach. They're going to need a lot of hopes, a lot of prayers to get this one done. 77-70 to keep their season alive. This is a team that relies on the 3-point ball. 46 in the nation in 3-point attempts per game. They've taken 25 tonight, only connected on 8 of them. Engineers on the other side, 12 for 28, above 40%. Mullen bullets a pass, but Cabral picked it off to the glass, to the rack. He's fouled on the way up. Doesn't make the tap-in layup, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2 at least. One at the end, one though, you could see it on his face.
So now you make both, and Cabral has to make both, and the Bombers 14 for 21 at the line. You make both, 5-point game, you have the 1 timeout. Things look a lot more light than dark.
Cabral's second trip to the stripe, he's 0 for 1 this evening. Number 15, he's been quiet, just 4 points, 2 for 4 from the floor. Make it 2 for 5 after that missed layup.
But so smart there to not opt for a contested 3. He saw the easy bucket down the lane, so that's a high percentage look if you get it quick.
Cabral rings out his first shot, 77-70. And that one just painstakingly dribbled out of the left side of the hoop. Couple of dribbles for his second, that one straight through. Wisink will leave it off for Callahan on the inbound. Bombers in the full court press trying to keep it alive. Bledsoe, he's fouled by Holmes. Our cameraman Brian Manchester almost got taken out underneath the basket. 77-71 with 10 seconds exactly on the clock.
6-point game, so you have to hope for misses. Now it's all double bonus, so they'll get 2 free throws. Bombers have that 1 timeout. You're going to need another, masterclass 3 from Logan coming over midcourt after these free throws. You need at least 1 miss right now. You can't afford 2 makes if you're the Bombers.
And your two best three-point shooters this year in Holmes and Wendell have 4 fouls apiece. As Bledsoe makes his first from the stripe, it's 78-77, so that deficit extends. And Bledsoe with 21 points.
And how about the Engineers, 14 for 15 at the line.
Bledsoe makes his second, it's 79-71. O'Neal moving quick to the far side of the court. Wendell, a long-range contested three off the back iron, and J.R. Newman corrals. How does the Sweet 16 sound, WPI? They'll go back for the 4th time in their program's history. They'll take on the winner of Gettysburg and Wesleyan next weekend. An exciting time for the Engineers. But what a season for the Ithaca Bombers, 19-10. A lot of fight in this team. They were overlooked. They'll come up empty here in Worcester. And for Logan Wendell and Aiden Holmes, Bryce Bleibtree as well, who's played a big part on this Bomber bench, will walk off this basketball court in an Ithaca jersey for the final time tonight.
And Coach Freed talked about coming into this tournament, let's put Ithaca on the map. And you talk about putting a team on the map. This is what Coach Freed and his group did this whole entire season. You come in starting a freshman for pretty much the whole entire year in Chris Lasith. You look at this sophomore class of Cabral, O'Neal, and company, absolutely dominant. One of the youngest teams in the conference. They were picked to miss the conference. They won the conference. They got to the NCAA tournament. Nobody thought they would take down Stockton, a top 15 offense in the country. They took down Stockton. The Bombers are back to being a men's basketball school that you look at and say, hey, this team can start to be an NCAA-looking school, not just looking through their conference. What a season this has been. What a Cinderella run this has been.
You got to give credit to Logan Wendell as well as Aiden Holmes and Bryce Bleibtree. From the time they were freshmen to the time they were seniors, especially Logan Wendell, they've been incredibly special at building the name of this Bomber basketball program. And for the future to come, it's bright. They've now made an NCAA tournament. You get to put that on your resume when you're recruiting. A lot of bright spots for the Bombers as they move into the final season. Coach Fareed even talked about, hey, we might not be that team this year, but we go into this NCAA tournament, see what we can do. We figure out the holes and we fix them next year.
And these seniors, too, not recruited by Coach Fareed. They were recruited after Jim Mullins with a different head coach during COVID, took a year off, and then the three of them, Bryce Bleibtree, Aiden Holmes, and Logan Wendell, come to this school as an interesting senior class. Nobody knew about them. Nobody thought this senior class would take them to this moment. That's something to be proud of.
So the number one three-point shooting defense team in the nation gets the job done, 79-71. They'll keep on dancing to the Sweet 16, see what they can do. The number 19 team in the country and the Engineers getting it done on their home court. They lost in the conference finals, didn't want to be upset in their home gymnasium. Again, they get the job done. And how about Chris Bartley? He said this team has learned a lot this season. They share the ball. They don't necessarily have one guy to get it done. It's a full team effort.
Full team effort, and a team that will face off either against Wesleyan, the number one team in the country, or Gettysburg come next week. Both tall tasks.
Very tall tasks. Well, that'll be all here from WICB. For Anna DeCrow, Cam Manna, and Devin Jarvis, it's been a pleasure covering Bomber basketball with you all season long. We appreciate you tuning in. That's all from here in Worcester.